everyone, it's time to take a look at some more Super 7 reaction figures, and we're taking a look at an entire wave of figures plus one extra that is sort of related but sort of not related at the same time. So we're going to take a look at a handful of Masters of the Universe reaction figures, and then we're taking a look at the latest Phantom StarKiller. So we have got on deck today, we've got the Man-at-Arms figure, we have got the very beautiful looking Slime Pit He-Man, and just look at that card art there. It's just fantastic. Everything about the packaging on these really does it for me. It's half of the fun with this line. We've got our blue Tila here, and then we've got our card back colors Ramman. We've got the vintage Toy Colors Hordak figure. And then last but not least, we have got the dark blue carrying case Mermen. And then of course you've got some sweet vintage style cross-sell on the back of these figures as well. And then of course I said we're doing a Phantom StarKiller because he's sort of related. He's kind of like a Skeletor head almost. We have got the Horned King StarKiller here, which just comes on a fantastic looking card back. You've got the bio there on the back of the package. Everything about this figure always does it for me, and it's a great presentation, but we've got to rip these things off of their cards, take them out of those bubbles, so let's do it. Let's take a look. And here we are, guys, our latest batch of Super 7 reaction figures. So we have got a handful of figures that go together but are also sort of different in terms of what line they go to or what wave they go to. So we've got over here, we've got our Merman, we've got our Ramman, Tila, of course the Phantom StarKiller in the middle there, which is only tangentially related, I suppose. Our Slime Pit He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Hordak there on the end. So we got a good spread of figures here to take a look at. So we're going to jump right into it and just take a look at each one individually and see what we've got going on here. So we're going to start with the Phantom StarKiller figure because frankly this guy steals the show just about every time I do anything with reaction figures, and rightly so. You know, the Killer Bootlegs Super 7 crossover here, I think has been a tremendous success. Well, I know it's been a tremendous success. And this is, what, the fourth one that they've made so far? You got the regular one, the glow-in-the-dark. There's the kind of green grayscale one that was done. And then this guy, the Horned King, which is kind of a maroon-ish colorway. And that's how it's described anyways, as the maroon one. I'm not really sure what Horned King is supposed to reference. I'm sure I'm missing something there, but it's an awesome toy, and it's just as cool as the first one. I really love this colorway. The colors on it are really dark. It seems to almost absorb light when it's around, because even under my really bright lights, it still seems to be really dark on its own, which is interesting. It's kind of weird, kind of cool though. So, you know, we've got that same sculpt that we've had the entire time. You've got the skull face here, so very Skeletor-esque. Of course, there's a very, you know, Darth Vader type of thing going on. Darth Vader, Skeletor kind of mashup going on. You've got the vinyl cape, which is all ragged and torn. Very vintage callback. And then, of course, my favorite feature, the telescoping laser sword that pops in and out of his wrist there with a nice kind of slime ooze color for the blade this time around. I think it looks awesome. My favorite one is probably still the glow-in-the-dark one, just because, I mean, well, he glows in the dark. But this is an awesome action figure. Of course, we've got 5 points of articulation, so head swivels, and then you've got arms that move, and you've got legs that kick back and forth. So the reaction hallmark, the reaction trademark, but you can't deny that these figures are just fantastic, awesome, and fun toys. This guy is easily my favorite reaction figure, bar none, across the entire line. Next up, we've got Tila, and this is the one that I just do not understand the colorway. So, you know, the entirety of this particular Masters of the Universe wave is that they are variants of some kind. This one is listed as Shiva, and obviously I understand what that means on the outset. The Indian goddess Shiva is what I'm assuming, because the colors very much fit. But if there's some sort of more direct MOTU relationship there, I do not get it. And maybe I'm showing my lack of knowledge finally at this point, but I don't know if that's what they're going for, or if it's something a little more deep and maybe a little more, you know, random as far as MOTU goes to know what it is. Either way, I really like this color scheme, and just to be clear, this is not supposed to be the goddess. We've already gotten a goddess figure. That was a PowerCon exclusive, I think. So we've got Tila in her vintage style snake armor here, and this is the one figure that I really don't care for the face sculpt on this one. I think she looks kind of weird. This one looks better than the regular Tila, though. I think the face kind of works a little better in this blue, and I really dig just the orange yellowy kind of color scheme for her armor, along with the blue skin. She again they're all 5 points of articulation, so head, arms, and legs, and then you've got her snake staff here. I wish this matched her armor. I wish this was the same thing rather than kind of the brownish with slightly red hue in there, but it's a cool figure nonetheless. I really like the color scheme. I just wish I knew more about why they went this route. Next up, Ramman, we've got what I guess he's probably the biggest of the MOTU ReAction figures. I still don't think he's the biggest overall. That might be the SDF1 from the Robotech line. But this guy is beefy and chunky, and he's definitely got some weight. He's also got one less point of articulation as well, because he has no head movement, as you might expect. But we've got some nice metallic paint up there on the figure itself, which, you know, someone might complain, well, the Ultimates Ramman doesn't have metallic paint for his armor, but we get it on a ReAction figure, and I guess all I can say is, yep, that's about it. But I'm glad we have it, because he really shines and he looks great. So this is of course the orange Ramman with the red pants, so he is the vintage card back colors, because he's supposed to be, well, his figure was red. So you've got him here, and he's beefy and he's chunky. There's a lot of nice detail in the armor, while being simplistic at the same time. And of course he comes with his little hatchet axe guy. So it's Ramman. He's orange. He doesn't have a moving head, but he looks really cool in this line. The Ocean Warlord and Wielder of Corncobs Merman here is the vintage carrying case colors. That's his callback this time around as far as what his colorway is. We've got the mini comics, we've got the regular Merman, and then we've got this one. So on that vintage carrying case, he was a really deep kind of royal blue with yellow armor and the red trunks. And it's the same figure, you know, there's nothing different here, just like the rest of these figures in this particular wave. And we've got his corncob sword represented here. That's one of my favorite vintage weapons of all time, just because of how ridiculous it is. But he looks great, and of course he is going to be the basis, or at least in many ways, he's going to be the basis for the upcoming Stinkor figure, which, as you know, I am eagerly awaiting. I wish he had come out with the rest of this wave, but hopefully we're not getting him because he's going to smell, and they're still working that out. But Mermen here looks pretty fantastic. Paint apps are really nice. The colors are very vibrant, very saturated, and I mean, come on, how could you not love that just beautiful face? Hordak may be one of the more easily identifiable variants this time around, because he's just his vintage toy counterpart. So we've got the black armor with the red accents and the gray body with that kind of bony white head. This, of course, is the same figure that we've already gotten that came in the She-Ra Hordak 2-pack at San Diego Comic-Con, whenever that came out, last year, the year before, I just can't remember at this point. And I think this figure actually looks a little better this time around, because I thought the other one looked almost like a child Hordak, because the head looked really big compared to his body, and I guess it's the colors here maybe that are making it so that he doesn't look as big-headed. And then of course we've got the always amazing vinyl cape on this guy. He does have an accessory, and it is, again, the same thing that we got with the first figure. So you can pop an arm off, and you can put his arm cannon on. So the original one was the Filmation Hordak. This is, of course, the vintage one. So he still retains the sort of vintage-y inspired looking, but still very Filmation arm here. So you can pop the arm off, put his arm cannon on from the cartoon, rather than him coming with any kind of crossbow or anything that would make him more vintage inspired. And then last from this, I guess the standard-ish wave of MOTU figures is our Man-at-Arms. And this is the one that I'm not sure why I didn't realize it right away what this was, but he just didn't jump out at me. I'm like, okay, well, that's a grayscale Man-at-Arms. That means something. And then it jumped right out, and of course it was confirmed. This is meant to mimic the movie look for Man-at-Arms. So Man-at-Arms in the '87 film, the live-action film, which if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I absolutely love that movie, so I should have picked up on this. He is in a gray with light gray accents and some black accents as well. So it doesn't in any way look like his costume, but that's the throwback here. That's what they're going for, is to give you a man-at-arms that looks sort of ish like that movie. And I'll take what I can get when it comes to MOTU movie stuff. So I think this is pretty cool. We've of course got the mustache on this guy. He's got his mace, and then just like all the other figures, he is 5 POA, but he's got a decent amount of sculpt on him. You can see we've got all the techno stuff on his chest armor there, on his arm, and then he's got the harness pieces on the back with some of the always prominent asymmetrical armor for man-at-arms. So we've got the armor on one side, and then he's a bear on the other, because why protect yourself all the way around, I suppose. But it's a great figure. He very much looks like man-at-arms. I'm not sure a lot of folks are going to pick up on the movie thing if you aren't really aware right out of the way, but if you weren't, you are now. And then last but certainly not least out of this entire batch of ReAction figures, we've got the one MOTU figure that's kind of apart from this new wave, and that would be our oh so beautiful Slime Pit He-Man. So this is another He-Man figure, so it's the same figure we've already gotten, just done up in a beautiful translucent green plastic to mimic the Slime Pit, and this also goes along with the upcoming PowerCon MOTU Classics figure, where we're going to get a translucent He-Man for the Slime Pit as well. So we've got, again, the same figure that we've always had, but he's got this great green well, he's got a cat hair on him there. We've got a great green plastic job here. It looks great. Everything about this just sort of speaks to me. Slime Pit He-Man ticks a box right there. Translucent green plastic ticks another one. And, I mean, come on. How could you not like this? He just looks fantastic. He's got great paint applications where they're needed. He almost looks, you know, evil enough because of what they've done with those eyes and the eyebrows. And, you know, he's supposed to be kind of zombified, you know, done up by the Horde. So this is a really cool figure. It was the one that I had to get 2 of, so I've got one to keep carded because he does come with some special card art on there as well. And then not to mention we've got that just fantastic looking translucent yet slightly frosted power sword. This is the complete package for me when it comes to a 3.75 inch figure in the 5 POA style. It again ticks a lot of boxes. Great look, good paint apps, it's He-Man, it's Slime Pit He-Man, and he's translucent plastic. This is a must-have. You must have picked this up if you were even remotely interested in Slime Pit stuff. I mean, this is the figure. So there you go, everyone. That is our latest batch of ReAction figures from Super7. So we've got 5 new Masters of the Universe figures in that new wave, along with the extra He-Man and, of course, the somewhat related Phantom StarKiller figure. And this is a great batch of figures. Whether I'm fully aware of why Tila looks the way she does or not, I think all of these figures look pretty fantastic. You know, I'm always up for variants when it comes to this particular line. I really, really dig it. I wish Super7 would get even more into variants as they can. I know we've gotten quite a few already, but I'm always up for more. Not to mention the fact that the Phantom StarKiller is the best figure I think they've made in this line in general. And then you've got that amazing candy-colored He-Man. This is a winning set all around, so hopefully you picked some of these up. A lot of them, if not all of them, are still on Super7's website as of this review, so I would check them out. You will not be disappointed if you're into this kind of toy. So that's going to do it for this look at the Super7 ReAction MOTU and Phantom StarKiller figures. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.